So we have a major update in the Benson case, and this one is one of the biggest developments that we've seen so far in this case, because the court here has now officially stepped in and agreed to rehear this case en banc. That means that the full court is now going to take control of this case, and even more importantly, the prior ruling that was issued by the lower court striking down the state's magazine ban, the ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, is now blocked, and it's going to be vacated and then re-reviewed and essentially ruled on by the en banc panel. So the ruling that we've been talking about up to this point is no longer binding, and this case is now essentially reset at the appellate court level. The en banc panel, the full court, is going to re-review this case and issue a new ruling. So let's talk about what happened and what happens now going forward. Now, before we jump into this video, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Patriot Gold Group. So right now, a lot of us, feel things are a little bit off. Prices keep going up. The world feels, very unstable, and a lot of people are starting to ask, is my money actually safe where it currently is? And that's why more Americans are turning to physical gold and silver. People want something very real, something tangible, something that they actually own, and actually something that can hold its value over generations. And this isn't about panic, it's about being smart and staying ahead of what is coming. So if you're interested in investing in gold or silver, you can call the proud Americans over at Patriot Gold Group today. You can mention my channel and mention Armed Scholar, and you'll get the best in-class service from patriots who are protecting other patriots and their money. You can call 888-581-3830 right now to get your free investor guide and see if you qualify for their no fee for life IRA on qualifying rollover. So again, if you're interested in this type of investment, you can check out Patriot Gold Group. I will leave links and all the information down below in the detail section, also in the pinned comment. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, we have a very important update in the Benson magazine ban case, which comes out of Washington, D.C. So first, quickly, let's recap what happened in Benson, because this is critical to understand what is now happening in this case. So as you may recall, the D.C. Court of Appeals originally ruled that the district's ban on magazines that holds more than 10 rounds is in fact a violation of the Second Amendment. Not only did the court there strike down the ban itself, but it also vacated multiple related convictions tied to that ban. That include Mr. Benson's possession of an unregistered firearm, the unlawful possession of ammunition, and carrying a firearm without a license. The court said that those convictions were infected by the unconstitutional ban on magazines. Now, that was a sweeping ruling issued by the court, and ever since then, DC has been trying to contain and block that ruling. After losing, DC filed a petition for a rehearing en banc. They also tried to fast-track review of this case and then also get a limit on the ruling and block it while the petition was pending. So again, they wanted expedited review and initial block of that, but that was denied by the court there. But then eventually the United States government, the Trump administration, decided to step in and made a drastic turn against the 2A community here and against this win that we got in this case. The Trump administration suddenly argued that the court here went too far in its remedy and that the en banc panel needed to re-review this case and issue a new ruling. That, of course, was very frustrating because it was another incident where the Trump administration was turning its back on the 2A community and really also threatening one of the big 2A wins that we've actually got. And now, because of that, we have a significant development in this case. The DC Court of Appeals has officially granted a rehearing en banc in this case. And now this is critical because when a court grants en banc panel review, it wipes out that prior panel ruling. That's what they did here. They vacated that lower court ruling. And that's, how this case is going to move forward with that rehearing en banc. Specifically in that order, it states that the March 5th, 2026 opinion and judgment is in fact vacated. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that the ruling striking down the magazine ban is no longer controlling. The prior decision has no precedential effect, and the case is now being reconsidered by the full court here in Washington, D.C. This is what we did not want to happen, but unfortunately, the Trump administration opened this can of worms by filing for that rehearing en banc. In their response, they argued that the remedy went too far, that the court needed to re-review that. And I raised red flags because some people were trying to say, well, that's just talking about the remedy itself. But really that opened the door for this entire case and the entire ruling to be reanalyzed, vacated, and re-ruled on. And that's exactly what's now going to happen. The case will now be heard by the full DC Court of Appeals, and the court has already ordered that this case will be set for oral arguments. Each side will here get 45 minutes to argue during those oral arguments. and this is going to go to the full high-level reconsideration of this case. They're going to look at whether the magazine ban itself is unconstitutional and whether the prior remedy issued by the lower court was appropriate. So all the arguments that we've been discussing in this case from the district, from the United States, and from the Benson plaintiff himself will now come back into play, but now they will be reconsidered by the entire court. So this is a big deal for a few reasons. First, the initial ruling was one of the strongest decisions that we've seen striking down a state's magazine ban, and now that ruling is blocked, at least for now. Second, this gives the district another opportunity to defend its law before the full court. And third, it delays any immediate impact that this ruling could have on other cases across the country. And unfortunately, it was the Trump administration who played a part in getting this win actually reversed and re-reviewed by the court. So stepping back, here's where things now stand. The panel decision is currently gone. The case is being reheard en banc, and the full DC Court of Appeals will now decide this issue moving forward. So instead of this case being finalized, it's now back in active litigation, and there will be a new ruling in this case. Next, the court will schedule oral arguments in this case. Both sides will present their briefs and papers to the court and then present arguments to the full court. And then after that, we will get that new ruling. So the Benson case just took a massive turn, and now we will have to see how this plays out in the en banc panel level. There is still some small hope that the Supreme Court takes up maybe a different magazine ban case, like the Duncan, California magazine ban case that's been pending in front of them, but it's been relisted multiple times now, I believe like 10 plus times. And of course, if they do grant review to the Duncan case, if that happens, it would no doubt impact this Benson case as well, but that is kind of the best case scenario. As of right now, it appears the Supreme Court is, going to keep punting that magazine ban and rifle ban case. They have not granted review at this point. We have got no indication really on what they want to do. They just keep relisting it. So we're going to have to keep our, eyes on what happens in not just the Benson case, but also Duncan, to see if maybe the Duncan case can help what's going on here in Washington, D.C. So that's the latest update in the Benson case. As soon as we get the date for the oral arguments, as we get new filings, by the U.S. government, it's going to be interesting to see what they argue in those briefs. And by all sides, I will let you guys know and keep you updated. I also wanted to mention that we still have the giveaway going on for the night vision goggles. So if you're interested in that, you can still get into that giveaway. Links will be down below in the detail section, also in the pinned comment. The giveaway is actually going to end on May 1st. So again, if you want to get in right now, that's still going, but it will close at the beginning of next month. So if you're interested, if you want to win some night vision goggles, some white phosphorus RNVGs, I highly recommend that you check out that link down below. And again, thank you guys so much for all of your support, and good luck to everybody who gets into that giveaway. If you like this video and you would like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is simply to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help to fuel the algorithm and just tells the algorithm that you appreciate this content, and so it shares it with more people. But as always, thank you so much for all of your support. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.